Hi, what's going on? My name's Zach. The borders of national states should not prevent the movement of refugees. So I'm going to start off at the Economic Forum at David Blair talked about an open world by which he presumably meant an open world for goods and capital, but a closed for people. Governments will not forever uh, be able to maintain the peculiar position that the movement of people, but not of goods and capital, must be controlled by the state. The current international situation has parallels with the apartheid. In France, Belgium, Germany, and other European countries, the autonomous movements of Spain, Papiers, it's undocumented, which have raised demands for legal rights for all migrants. They have moved to increase widespread demands for open frontiers and freedom movement. Official reports fail to find any reasons for open frontiers and freedom movement. Official reports fail to find any reason, including non-black Commonwealth citizens, apart from the supposed non-assimilated ability. Immigrants were not needed for the expansion of economy, which is not prone to either disease or crime. By far, the strongest reason for the opposing immigration controls is that they impose harsh suffering on migrants and refugees in the hope of deterring others. Oddly, they do not contrave the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. The democratic and human rights of the rest of us are threatened too, in which they have called the creeping of society to deter of people from coming to Britain for refugee or perhaps for work. The state imprisons an undisclosed proportion in the city was around percent of person who arrive at ports and airports claim this. It does not. It does so on the say of the junior immigration official with no trial, no automatic right to bail. So they must survive on less than minimum considered necessary for natives. This means food vouchers spendable only at certain supermarkets and to one no choice offer accommodation offered often away from existing communities, lawyers, and even families. It is my opinion an utter complete myth that it is the slightest um shit slightest danger or prospect of millions and millions brown or black people coming to America. Anyone who is trying to put that across is only trying to frighten into believing a United Nations populated diverse republic published in estimates that the Western Europe alone, millions net immigrants per year will be needed over the next 50 years to counter the effects of aging, declining population. If people were free to come, they would probably do so. They'll act allows dependence on their men, but perhaps the controls and probably the non-economic self-interests of either capitalists of the working class and the rich community, rich countries, excuse me. Nevertheless, interests of either capitalists of working classes and rich country. Nevertheless, the abolition of immigration controls would create vast savings. Some argue that the immigration controls protect the interests in the third world. Nevertheless, many people um, who now migrate from the third world um, do not out of choice, but because they are forced by wars and political repression. If the governments of the rich industrial countries object to migration, they should recognize their own part in causing it. The West world stop using World Bank to enforce the private extract payments on an unjust debit. It should stop enforcing the access of the corporations to the markets to resource third world countries.